Hey guys, bit of a different video than what I usually make, because today, Niantic-Scopely just released a huge announcement titled Strengthening the Foundations of Pokemon Go Trainer Battles, and I think this is super important and interesting. From the beginning, Pokemon Go Trainer Battles were designed under two principles. The gameplay had to be fast-paced for the mobile landscape so that players could have short experiences while exploring the world, and battles needed to be dynamic enough to invoke a sense of skill when managing your Pokemon. As the PvP community has grown more competitive, players have naturally pushed the system to its limits. They may have noticed situations where battles did not always behave as consistently as expected. These moments were rare, but at higher levels of play, even small inconsistencies could have an outsized impact. Rather than continuing to address these issues one at a time, the team took a broader approach by rebuilding the core battle system. To help find a balance between addressing existing consistency issues and game feel, we've solicited feedback during development from the community as well as various players from both grassroots competitive scenes and the official Pokemon Go Championship Series, supporting skill-based battles. Battles in Pokemon Go have very short fixed duration turns. This structure helps maintain a consistent battle state while delivering smooth and responsive gameplay. In the past, some interactions could be influenced by when inputs arrived within those turns. Most of the time this worked as intended, but differences in network connections or device performance could occasionally affect how these actions were resolved. While connectivity will always play a role in online play, normal variances within turn and network tolerances should no longer change the outcome of identical decisions for a given game state. Major changes. Damage resolves at the end of the turn. This is already kinda huge. Previously, damage could resolve at different points within a turn, depending on network conditions. With fast attacks that take one turn, this sometimes meant one player's move was resolved slightly earlier than the other players under certain conditions. New expected behavior. Damage resolves at the end of each turn. Energy is awarded at the same time damage is resolved. Charged attacks now consistently resolve if used on the same turn the user is about to feint from a fast attack. What this means for players. One-turn fast attacks now reliably tie when used on the same turn. Energy gains are predictable and easier to track. Outcomes depend on decisions and timing within the turn system, not a player's local network speed or variance due to provider differences. Swaps resolve before damage. Another area players might notice changes is around swapping Pokemon to absorb an incoming attack. Previously, whether damage landed on the outgoing or incoming Pokemon could depend on the timing of the swap as well as connection quality. New expected behavior. Swaps always resolve before damage. What this means for players. When you swap on the same turn as an opponent's fast attack completes, the incoming Pokemon will consistently take the damage. When swapping on the same turn that your opponent's charged attack starts, the incoming Pokemon will be the recipient of the charged attack. So basically that means that when you try to do a catch, that'll be more consistent. You can more easily do a catch and predict that it will just work. Swapping to absorb the incoming damage will behave the same way across different network conditions within the turn. Swap decisions are more reliable and easier to plan around. Clear and consistent swap costs. Swap timing has also been standardized. A quick swap is a voluntary swap made during normal battle flow. A forced swap happens when a Pokemon faints and a replacement must be chosen. New expected behavior. Quick swaps always cost a turn. Forced swaps do not cost a turn, and swaps during the end of a charged attack sequence will not cost a turn. What this means for players. Swap timing is clear and predictable. Inconsistent delays around charged attacks and swaps have been removed. Planning around swaps is more intuitive, especially in tight endgame scenarios. Input delays due to swap reliability are eliminated. Charged attacks start on the next turn. Charged attack timing has been standardized so that charged attacks always begin at the start of the following turn after being triggered. Previously, charged attacks could begin immediately, which created uneven timing windows and made some interactions more sensitive to latency or device performance. New expected behavior. Charged attacks begin at the start of the next turn. Charged attack damage and effects will always resolve before fast attacks that finished during the charged attack sequence. This means that stat changes, as well as effects that alter a Pokemon, will occur before any incoming fast attack effects are applied. I think they're referring to Morpeko. What this means for players. Timing windows around charged attacks are more consistent. Fast attack quote-unquote sneak Fast attacks started at the beginning of an opponent's charged attack rely less on connection quality or device speed. Fast attacks started at the beginning of an opponent's charged attack can only occur on the exact turn a charged attack is used. Fast attack quote-unquote leak. Fast attacks that finish during an opponent's charged attack will consistently be applied after the charged attack is completed. This means that charged attacks that cause stat changes will be applied before the fast attack is applied. Charged attack outcomes are more consistent, barring chance-based effects such as stat changes from attacks like Night Slash. So what they're saying with this part is, if you use a move that would increase your defense, like Drain Punch or Obstruct, that stat change is going to be applied before the next incoming fast attack every time. So, you can actually play around guaranteed stat changes. Earlier swap UI during charged attacks. This one's also huge. The swap flyout now appears slightly earlier as a charged attack sequence is ending. What this means for players. It is easier to queue a swap as a charged attack finishes. Inputs are less likely to be missed during fast-paced moments. Visual feedback better matches when the system is ready for your next action. Battles continue even if a trainer disconnects. Previously, battles depended heavily on continuous communication from both players. If a player disconnected or stopped sending input, game state and outcomes could become unclear. This was especially noticeable in situations where both players were on the brink of a knockout and order of operations mattered, especially for setting up energy or alignment on the incoming Pokemon. New expected behavior. Both players must connect before a battle begins. Battles continue to progress even if a client stops responding. Battles will always continue to provide visual feedback if either player stops tapping. What this means for players. Battles resolve cleanly if an opponent disconnects or leaves the match. Outcomes around knockouts, energy gain, and alignment are clear and consistent. Delays due to player input during a charged attack will no longer impact game pacing and flow. Situations where both players do not want to submit actions are now more clear. HP bar animation updates. With damage resolving at the end of turns, HP bar behavior has been updated to better communicate when damage is pending versus when it is finalized. In rare charge attack timing scenarios, players may briefly see pending damage before resolution. Rest assured that the HP bar animations resolve only when damage is applied. What this means for competitive play. Together, these updates strengthen the competitive experience, improving reliability and fairness for all trainers and leading to the following. Consistent outcomes for identical game states and decisions, reduced sensitivity to latency and device performance, clearer and more reliable timing for advanced techniques. For experienced players, this means cleaner timing, more dependable swap interactions with charged attacks, damage registering predictably, and fewer moments where outcomes feel unexpected. For all players, it means battles that more accurately reflect skillful play. Looking ahead, this update focuses on reinforcing the core battle system so future updates across all battle modes can build on a stable and consistent foundation. We will continue monitoring battles as these changes roll out, adjusting as necessary. So yeah, this is huge. They're like actually trying to fix PvP. This part about charged attacks starting on the next turn, hopefully this means overtapping is either dead or very consistent. There were like 5 separate seasons early on in Go Battle League where they kept saying that they fixed overtapping and they just fucking didn't. And that is like the bane of my existence, knowing that I've clicked on the charge move button and yet instead of getting to use my charge move, the input that I did, instead my Pokemon just dies. Or the opponent gets theirs, even though I clearly clicked mine first. Such a huge improvement. I am so excited for this update to come out. I don't know if it's already out. Yeah, because it says here, as these changes roll out. So I don't know if that means that it's out already, or if they're doing another wave-based release. But yeah, get hype. Pokemon Go Competitive is now a functional game, theoretically at least. I actually want to play PvP consistently now. They did it. They fixed it. A good change for once. And, just in time for Kalos Tour and the 10th anniversary coming up this summer. The Big 26 is going to be huge for this game. That's gonna be it for me for this video. Hope you guys found this informative, and thanks for watching.